If you found out that today is the last day of your life, what would you do? Would you spend the last few hours feeling sad or crying? Or would you want to change something and leave a good memory behind so that people remember you? Or would you want to do something bad because you know you are going to die anyway? This is the story of one such day. The story begins when Sam wakes up in the morning to her phone's alarm. Today is February 12th and it is 6:30 in the morning. Sam receives a message from her friend saying Happy Cupid Day, as it is Cupid Day at school where everyone gets roses from their partners. She ignores paper bird made by her little sister and then goes to the bathroom to get ready for school. As she leaves the house, she does not talk to her parents or her sister. She heads out for school. It is a small town with low population, located in the mountains. On the way, she notices both sides of the road. During the day, girls in school distribute flowers, and Sam also receives many flowers. One of the roses is given to her by her classmate named Kent, who has liked her since childhood. Kent is planning a party at his house, and he invites her. She responds to think about it. In reality, Sam does everything what her best friends decide for her. These 4 girls are very popular at school and a bit arrogant too. During their lunch break, they made fun of a girl named Juliet, who stays isolated, and they all call her Psycho. They also send a rose with a nasty message written on it for her. In the evening, the 4 girls get ready and go to Kent's house for the party, where the whole school is present. Sam is enjoying the party with her friends, and they see Juliet entering the room, and they start bothering her again. This time, she fights back and responds to them. The students at the party stop to watch and start mocking Juliet. They all start to throw their drinks at Juliet. She starts crying and runs away from the party. Kent is angry about how the girls treated her, but they don't care. They leave the party. On the way, everyone keeps cursing Juliet. To change the mood, they play a song. Sam checks her phone to see the time, and it shows 12:39 a.m. And at that exact moment, their car crashes into something, and they get into a very serious accident. Just then, Sam wakes up to her alarm. She thinks that she might have been dreaming, but the date on her phone is still February 12th. She gets a Happy Cupid Day message from her friend. The paper bird made by her little sister is still on her bed. Sam doesn't understand what is happening, and everything repeats in the same way. She goes to the school with her friends. The teachers are teaching the same lesson. At school, she meets Kent, who asks about the party. After the fight with the Juliet at the party, they are on the way again. Seeing the time as it shows 12:39 a.m. again, Sam gets scared and asks her friend to watch out for the truck. A speeding truck passes by, and she thinks that they have avoided the accident, but then they crash into something. Immediately after the accident, Sam opens her eyes and she understands that it wasn't a dream, but that she had lived the same day twice, and today she is living it for the 3rd time, because it is still February 12th. After this, she lives the same day for many days. She doesn't understand what is happening to her. She is trapped in a time loop where she has to live February 12th repeatedly. But today, instead of going to school with her friends, she decides to go with her mom. But things are unfolding just like they did before, with everything repeating itself. When her friends start mocking Juliet at the cafeteria, Sam asks them why do we hate her. Hearing this, all of them are surprised. They respond, she is very strange. She makes very strange paintings and no one loves her. She has no friends. Why are you asking this? Sam says, just asking. And she looks at Juliet, who remains completely silent, completely different from the world. Sam convinces them not to go to the party, and they all stay at her friend's house. And right at 12:39 a.m., when the accident happens, Sam looks at her phone, and for the next 1 minute, her eyes don't move from her phone. And 1 minute passes, which means the time has passed when their car had an accident. Sam is completely surprised and happy. She tells her friend, I love you all very much. Her friends say, we love you too. After this, they fall asleep, and they receive a message at night that Juliet had committed suicide. Sam is completely surprised by this news. She thinks that tonight none of them went to the party, meaning that nothing happened to her at the party, where everyone throws drinks on her and calls her psycho. Sam wonders why Juliet committed suicide when this didn't happen to her tonight. One of her friends says to Linda that you and Juliet were best friends when you were both in 5th grade and you used to sleep at her house. Hearing this, Sam is completely surprised because she didn't know about this. Linda says it's about the time when she wasn't a psycho. She was a completely normal person. Sam tells Linda that we have been making fun of her for so many years, But you never told us that Juliet was your best friend. Linda doesn't respond to this and tells Sam to go to sleep. She falls asleep, and when she wakes up in the morning, the same alarm is set on her mobile, which rings every morning. Sam understands that nothing is okay, although she had tried a lot, but none of her efforts were successful, and she is still trapped in the loop. She has to live this day for many days. Despite wanting to, she cannot get out of this loop, and now she is completely frustrated and decides to do whatever she wants. She wears a very bold dress, and when she is leaving the house, her mom advises her not to wear such clothes. Sam says, "I can do whatever I want in my life." And before leaving the house, she yells at her little sister too, because she always messes with her stuff. Sam leaves the house, and in her mind, she wonders if she is dead, and this is hell. Or maybe she is alive, but living the life of a dead person. When she is going to school with her friends in the car, Linda says something to her, and Sam lashes out at her, saying very harsh things. This makes Linda angry, and she tells Sam to get out of her car. In the class, when the girls come to give flowers, she takes them and throws them in the dustbin. After the class ends, Sam comes out and sees Juliet. She follows her and sees her painting alone in a room. Seeing the emptiness and sadness in her life, Sam feels very sad, and she realizes that all the teasing she and her friends did to her over the years were wrong. Sam goes to the party at night, where her friends are also present. One of them, Laura, comes to her and says, "You shouldn't have talked to Linda like that. You should apologize to her." But Sam refuses to apologize. But she still goes to Linda and tells her that she is a horrible driver, and because of her, so many people have been hurt. And she doesn't even know it, and I am one of them. Linda doesn't understand what she was talking about, but actually Sam was telling her about the accident that happens every night because of her. She goes up to Kent's room. When Kent comes there, she apologizes to him, saying, "Forgive me, I used your room." Kent says it's okay. She asks him, "Why did you throw such a big party?" He responds, "I organized this party hoping that you would come." Sam and Kent also remember their childhood days when they used to play together, and once Sam fell from a tree, injuring her leg badly. Sam tells him that I should leave now, but he says, "I'll drop you home." She says, "I don't want to go home." Then he suggests, "If you have no problem, you can sleep here. I'll sleep outside." And Sam sleeps at Kent's house. But the next morning, when she wakes up, she is at her own house. But today, her mind, her behavior, everything has changed completely. She talks nicely with her little sister, plays with her, and even goes to lunch with her family. Her mom tells her, "When we used to go horse riding, you used to ride all the horses, so no horse feels left out. You have a very big heart." Sam says, "Yes, I remember, but I was little then." Her mom tells her it is important to focus on good things and then see where your life takes you. When she comes home and lies down on her bed, many thoughts come to her mind. She goes to Kent's house where the party is going on. She enters his room and they both start talking. Kent reminds her of the time when his dad passed away and he was bullied at school. Some kid dropped Kent's food and Sam stood up for him. She picked up that food and put it on that kid's face. Kent says after his dad's death, he laughed for the first time on that day, and all of this happened because of her. And he said to her that "You are my hero." Suddenly they hear Juliet screaming, and it's the moment when Linda and Juliet are having a fight. Everyone is throwing drinks at Juliet. When Sam reaches downstairs, she sees Juliet running away. She follows her and stops her at one point. Sam apologizes to Juliet, saying, "I am sorry for everything we have done to you so far." Juliet tells her that Linda and she used to sleep together in childhood because Linda's parents were getting divorced. They were always fighting, and later they got divorced, and because of this stress, Linda developed a habit of wetting the bed. When we went camping, Linda wet the bed there too, but she blamed it on me, which is why you still tease me today. Actually, it wasn't me, it was Linda. And saying this, she starts running away from there. She throws herself in front of a car, and this car isn't anyone else's but Linda's. And it is revealed that the first accident happened because Juliet had collided with their car and committed suicide. She wakes up at her house, and today is February 12th. She thinks that today she feels like she woke up for the first time. She is not scared, she is not confused. Taking a deep breath, she says to herself, "I know how to live this day." Before leaving home, she warmly greets her mom and dad, hugs them tightly, and also hugs her little sister. When she steps out of the house, she looks at everything as if she is seeing all these things for the first time. Her friends come to pick her up and she talks nicely with all of them and she tells them why she loves them. After that, Sam buys a rose, and this is for Kent. And when the flowers are distributed in the class, Kent also gets one, which says, "You are my hero." After the class ends, Kent invites her to the party, although she used to refuse earlier, but she says, "I will definitely come." After this, when Sam is at the cafeteria with her friends, and Juliet comes there, Linda and her friends start teasing her, but Sam stops them from doing so and says, "We should not do this. This is not very nice." After this, Sam goes outside her house and sees her family together, where her mom, dad, and her little sister are, and from here she goes straight to the party, where she meets Kent, and then she comes downstairs. Before Juliet enters the party, she stops her at the gate and says, "I want to apologize to you, Juliet." But she says, "I don't want to talk to you. I want to go from here." Sam says, "I have to come with you," but Juliet runs away from there. Sam follows her and tries to explain to Juliet that she shouldn't think about suicide. Life is very beautiful, and she should think about the positive aspects. Juliet says, "You don't know anything about my life, and it will never be okay." Sam says, "Your life is absolutely fine, and never let anyone say otherwise." But Juliet wants to give up her life in any possible way, and when she sees a truck coming, she goes in front of it to sacrifice herself. Sam pushes her out of the way, and Sam herself ends up under the truck. Now her eyes open again. She sees Juliet saying to her dead body, "You saved me." But Sam says, "No, you saved me."